just saying. No, it's not because of anything. It's just that, look, the thing is, the people who came up before me, give them a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, everyone. These people are making changes in other people's lives. These people are humanitarian. These people are people who come and make a change in the world. I talk cock for a living. I don't know what you're going to learn from me, but I'm going to try, right? The thing is, the only thing that I do differently from all these people is that, like, they always come up here and say, oh, you have to work hard. You have to work hard for your dreams. You have to work hard for your life. I am the laziest person you'll ever meet in my entire life. Right? I didn't want to work hard. I never wanted to work hard. In fact, when I started out, like I was one of the speakers, he lost 50 kilograms in a few months. And I looked at him and I went, I wish I could do that. Right? Because I'm not healthy. Right? I'm not healthy because the other day, let me tell you this, I pulled my back muscle sneezing too hard. Right? This happened with achoo. Right? And I couldn't do anything. Like I knew I was unhealthy. Like I tried. I asked him what's his secret. He said diet and exercise. The two things I don't want to do. Right? Because let's face it, like I tried. I joined the gym, right? I made the mistake of paying 1 year in advance. Because I'm not going anymore. Right? I'll tell you why I'm not going anymore. Because the first thing they did was they gave me a free personal trainer. Right? And I thought free, okay, that's good. I got excited, I bought shorts. Right? I bought that little headband. I don't know what that headband does, I bought it anyway. Right? I bought the wristband, I don't know what that does, I bought it anyway. I went to the gym, I met the personal trainer. He seemed like a nice guy. Right? Until our session started. He made me do things I don't want to do. Right? He put me in positions I didn't want to be in. He took advantage of me. I died at one point. He brought me back to life. Just to make me do 50 more push-ups. You understand? Like at the end of the session, he looked at me and he said, "Come back tomorrow." I said no. I'm not coming back tomorrow. That's like going out and then suddenly you meet a bunch of people who are not good people, and they beat you until the inch of your life, and then they look at you and go, "Come back tomorrow." No lah, go to hospital. Not coming back tomorrow. That didn't work out. I don't go to the gym anymore. And then I decided, then my wife put me on this thing called a keto diet. Right? How many of y'all know what a keto diet is? Yeah, some of y'all. The thing is, to be fair, I've been on the keto diet for 2 months now, and I've lost the will to live. Because the keto diet, what does it say? Like you cannot eat rice. As a Malaysian Indian, you know how embarrassing that is, that I cannot eat rice. Like my grandmother has disowned me, you understand? Try explaining to your Indian grandmother that you cannot eat rice. What? Get out. So I said, I'm the laziest person in the world. I told you that story because I wanted to show that how lazy I am. I started when I was in school, right? I was in school, I was not a very good student. Right? I was not a very good student. And the only reason for this, I only found out later in my life that I am dyslexic. Right? I have dyslexia and I couldn't read. I could read, but I couldn't read properly. So I didn't want to go to school. I didn't want to go to school because people thought that I was stupid. Right? My parents didn't know how to spell dyslexia, let alone know what dyslexia is. Right? So basically, I was just stupid. Right? They looked at me and they said, "Oh, you will never go far in life. When you grow up, what are you going to be?" Like all Malaysian parents only have 5 career choices for your kids. Right? We all know them. Right? Doctor, lawyer, engineer, gangster, or lorry driver. These 5, I know. Because if you fail the first 3, that's the only jobs you can get. You don't be a doctor, you'll be a lorry driver. Like how? That's so far. You can be an accountant. What accountant? taunted you, disgrace to society. Right? But here's the thing, though. Like that's all I could be, and I was heading towards the two careers, which is lorry driver and gangster, either one, right? And I didn't want to go to school. I broke rules, right? I broke rules because I didn't want to be in school, and that's the one thing that taught me that look, in life, rules are meant to be broken, right? Because I broke rules, I got kicked out of a very prestigious school, Methodist Boys School KL, right? It was a good school. I got kicked out of it because I broke rules, right? And then I ended up in Sekolah Menengah Kelana Jaya, which is supposed to be a new school that, you know, took everybody. Like, everybody who got kicked out of one school will go to that school, right? So basically, when I went there, I became assistant head prefect, right? That's how bad the school was. But that school also was where I met the teacher who realized that I had dyslexia and taught me how to read, right? She taught me how to read because she knew my brain worked differently from everybody else. My brain doesn't work the same way a normal person reads a book. Like, if I see words, I don't see words, I don't read words. I read an image of a word that I remember and store in my memory that I can bring out later. So if I see a word like imponderables, which I've never read before in my entire life. To be fair, before today I didn't know what imponderables meant. I thought it was Tamil swear word. Right, but now I've seen the word. Now I remember the image of the word. And now next time when the word comes out, I know that word. I know the image. So my brain worked differently. Right? And that's when she taught me as well, that because my brain worked differently, I could do things differently. I see the world in a different way. Whenever someone tells me a story, I don't see it as a story. I see it as, how can I make this different? How is this image implanted in my head? Right? So that's what happened in school. And every time, when I was in school, I was the joker in school. Everybody loved hanging out with me because I made them laugh. Right? But also everybody hated hanging out with me because I made them laugh all the time. Like even in situations that not supposed to be laughed at, in school especially, right? But I had a good memory, so I was okay, but my friends who listened to me were not. Like when I was in school, I remember when we were in science class, right? And we would be talking and I'm making everybody laugh. And my teacher, just to trip us up, would go, "Kavin, what is the answer to this?" And I would give the perfect answer. Right? I know the answers. Like I was really good because I remembered everything in the textbook and I could regurgitate. But when they asked my friends, they were like, I don't know. Right? So that's why people hated hanging out with me as well. And I would make fun of everything. Right? And sometimes it's not the most ideal place to be. So I remember these lessons that I had, that I wanted to break rules. Right? I didn't want to follow the rules. I was lazy. And I wanted to embrace that. I didn't want to go to work, right? But then again, those 5 career choices came back to haunt me, right? I had to choose one, and the only thing I could choose was after SPM, I knew I had to go somewhere. I had to go study, right? And I was very lucky because I had a scholarship with Petronas to study engineering, right? So engineers in the room, this is your future. I love how we always say, "Oh, engineers in the room, this is your future." Like there was another speaker who came up here like, "Engineers, you can do whatever you want." Like that, what? Lawyers cannot, is it? Like, lawyer must be lawyer, cannot. No, but anyone can be anything they want as long as they know what they are capable of. And the thing is, like I knew I wanted to be lazy. I knew I wanted to break the rules. The only thing I knew that I didn't want was that I didn't want a 9-to-5 job. So I went to UK to study because it was free, right? Why not? I studied. I came back. I graduated. I came back. I worked with Petronas for a while. I really didn't like getting up at 9 o'clock for someone else. I didn't want to get up in the morning and go to work for someone else to buy a Ferrari. Mostly it was the Prime Minister, but still. Petronas. The VIP gone, no man. But you know, the thing is, I didn't want to wake up for someone. I wanted to wake up for myself, and I knew I wanted to go and do something else. But I knew I couldn't get into business because I could not do business. I didn't have the discipline. I didn't have the hard work. Right? I know I didn't want to do that. So what else can I do? Right? I knew I wanted to make myself the business. I wanted to make myself the product. Right? The only thing I could do as a Malaysian was to talk. Use that. I made people laugh for free for years. Now let them pay me to do it. Right? So that's what I wanted to do. Okay, first I tried dancing. It didn't work. I cannot dance. Right? Then I tried singing. If you all, okay, this is the first time I ever said this to anyone, alright? Okay, I auditioned for Malaysian Idol. I didn't get it. I was really bad, right? But then I thought, okay, you know, there was something maybe I can do, right? There was something that I saw in the UK called stand-up comedy. I didn't want to do stand-up comedy then because I knew it was hard. It was something that was really difficult to do because I don't know if you know this, it's stand-up comedy is not about just coming up here and just telling jokes. No, stand-up comedy is very methodical, it's very scientific, there's a lot of hard work that goes into it that you wouldn't know. Like I didn't know. I thought just go out there and talk to anyone. Easy lah, right? So I got 150 of my friends and I put them in a room, right? Like today, right? And I started telling jokes and they were not funny, right? Nothing was funny. Nobody was laughing, right? A few of my friends, like just to be supportive for me, started laughing really fake laughs. Like you know the fake, like a ha 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 ha. And because the room was a bit silent, I could hear them saying to another friend, saying, "What the hell is he doing? Does he know it's not funny?" Like, you know, and I knew I could hear that. But at the end of the show, I went out to meet my friends, and they looked at me and they went, "Well done." Right? Because they lied to my face. Right? Because they wanted to be supportive. They didn't want to hurt my feelings. I knew how they felt though. I knew how they felt. Right? And I realized that look, I can't just do something just for the sake of doing something. Right? I need to learn how to do it before I do it. And that's what I did. I went out on a journey to learn how to do stand-up comedy. Right? This was 12 years ago. 12 years ago, I'm still learning how to do stand-up comedy, but you know, I learned that it's so methodical. Right? There's so many rules to stand-up comedy. There's a setup, there's a punchline. When you tell a story, you need to do this and this and this and this and this. But I wanted to break the rules, not follow the rules. Right? I didn't want to do the same thing like everybody else does. This is not what I signed up for. Right? And then I was struggling for 2 years trying to follow the rules, but I realized that it wasn't working for me because I was not good at comedy because I can't follow rules, right? And that's when I met like the other stand-up comedians that I frequently perform with, and these guys constantly break the rules when they do comedy, right? There's no setup, there's no punchline. Just tell a story. Just be truthful to yourself. And if you tell the truth, and when people can relate to you in a much deeper level than just the surface, you can break boundaries. Like for instance, like if I tell a joke, you guys laugh. It's a Malaysian joke, right? But that doesn't mean Giorgio from Italy cannot laugh at it, or Matthias from Germany cannot laugh at it, because they understand that it's a joke and it's funny and what happened, right? Like for instance, let's see if they laugh at this joke, right? It's a very Malaysian joke, right? It's a jokey joke that I wrote a long time ago, right? 3 doctors having an argument, 1 American, 1 German, and 1 Malaysian, right? The American goes, America is so great that we can take a lung from one person, put it in another person, and in 1 week he's looking for a job. The German goes, says nothing, because in Germany we can take a heart from one person, put it in another person, and in 4 days he's looking for a job. The Malaysian goes, says nothing, because in Malaysia we can take an asshole, put him in parliament, now the whole country looking for a job. The only reason they laughed at it is because it's the truth. Like they understand the truth. It's not the context, it's the truth that what I've said, right? Everybody laughed at that, I hope. There's the police waiting outside. Right, but But I decided, you know what, this is what I want to do. That's why when I do my jokes, I broke every rule. I just told the truth. Basically, everything I do comes up from here, right? And then one day the people from Netflix saw what I could do, right? They saw that I do my shows and they put me on Netflix, right? Thank you. And I've got a special on Netflix. Like, I can tell you this now, I've signed a new contract with Netflix, ladies and gentlemen. I now pay them 42 ringgit a month. I get 4 screens, it's very nice. No, but they put me on Netflix, right? And this is what happened. In Malaysia, there was 2 other comedians who went on Netflix with me, which was Fakafaz from Singapore and Harith Iskandar from Malaysia, right? Now, the thing is, Harith Iskandar, his special in Malaysia, like, did really well, right? But then Hollywood decided to do a rating of the 2018 stand-up comedy specials on Netflix, and I was number 8 out of 23, right? And that is something, the people who are higher than me, I mean, basically the people who were below me, rated below me, were my heroes, like Ricky Gervais, Marlon Wayans, and so many others that you may not know, but they were my heroes. I grew up listening to them, right? And now I'm rated higher than them. And because of that, ladies and gentlemen, you know, because what I do comes from here, right? It comes from within, comes from the truth. That, you know, people in Hollywood, I just signed with a Hollywood agent, right? And I'm probably moving to LA next year to do, you know, LA stuff. And, you know, I guess the only thing that I can give to you guys is that, look, if you no matter how much you want to do something, there's always going to be barriers to stop you from doing it, right? Like, for instance, when I wanted to do stand-up comedy, I was afraid of speaking in crowds, right? I was afraid of doing that. In fact, in Malaysia or in the world, that is the #1 fear: speaking in a crowd. In fact, the fear of death is number 2. Right? So if you're in a funeral, you would rather be in the casket than giving the eulogy. Right? And there's always going to be obstacles in what you want to do. But if you can overcome these obstacles, in fact, if you can use these obstacles for your benefit, you can be bigger than yourself, right? And always come from the truth, always come from the heart. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.